With the release of his 2023 album Subtract, Ed Sheeran brings a close the Mathematics era. Let's take a look back at an artist who has defined a decade. In 2011, Ed releases his debut album Plus. This comes after releasing 5 EPs which were aimed at getting him signed to a major label. Plus blends pop, folk, rap, busker pop, and creates a sound that no one has really heard before. The album shoots up the charts in the UK and Australia. In both countries, it reached #1. It's personally my favorite Ed Sheeran album, and was kicked off by the lead single, The A-Team.
And she don't wanna go outside tonight.
Ed's second album, Multiply, is released in 2014 and becomes the highest-selling album of that year in the UK. The album's lead single, Sing, becomes Ed's first #1 in the UK. The album also contains one of my favorite Ed Sheeran songs, Don't, which may or may not be some shady stuff that went down. And of course, who could forget the song that plays at every wedding now, Thinking Out Loud.
So honey, now take me into your loving arms.
Ed closed the Multiply era with 3 sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium. Wembley Stadium is an 80,000 capacity stadium. That means 240,000 people attended those shows. In 2017, Ed releases his third album, Divide. It becomes the fastest-selling album in the UK of all time. It tops the charts in 25 countries and is the 5th highest-selling album of the 21st century. The album also gave us the hit single, Shape of You. Shape of You was the first single to reach 2 billion streams on Spotify, and up until 2020 was the most played song on Spotify of all time.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet.
In 2021, Ed's 4th album, Equals, was released. The era was kicked off with the song Bad Habits, featuring Ed as a lonely vampire.
Bad habits lead to late nights, sitting alone, conversations with a stranger I barely know.
Equals also features the song Visiting Hours, which is about Australian music legend Michael Gudinski, who was an essential foundation to Ed Sheeran's career. Ed shared a wonderful story where he was hanging out with Gudinski in Melbourne. He pointed at the MCG and said, "You know, Ed, one day you're going to play there." And at the time, Ed's a small artist. He's just coming up. He's making his debut. This is his first time in Australia. I think it's about 2011, 2012. And he laughs because the MCG is a massive, massive stadium. But on the Mathematics tour, he does it. Not only does he do it, he sells it out. 210,000 people for 2 nights, the highest attended concert in Australian history. The era comes to a close with 2023's Subtract. Produced by Aaron Dessner of The National, this is a stripped-back album that removes the image of Ed Sheeran, the fame, the stadiums, the big production. It takes everything away and just leaves Ed, his guitar, and his songwriting.
Everything hurts, and I know love leads to pain.
Arguably his most personal album of recent years, Subtract explores loss, grief, and the experience of being human while being one of the most famous people on the planet. That's the retrospective of one of the most important artists of the 2010s. What was your favorite era of Ed Sheeran? And follow Blair for more music content.